probably seen them too. All these posts on social media discussing the difference between purchasing and procurement, or how supply management is something completely different from buying or sourcing, and how contract management differs from supplier management and supply-based management. In the Dutch language, like in many other languages, there's only one word for purchasing: inkoop. Why are there so many words in the English language for something so similar? And even more important, why do we purchasing professionals spend so much time discussing them? The entire terminology discussion seems to revolve around semantics, frustration, and territory. But mainly we think it's about marketing and purchasing. As a reference, let's look at the consumer marketing of laundry detergents. This is a low-interest product for most consumers, just like the purchasing department is to many colleagues. Initially, people used a bar of soap to do their laundry. With the advent of washing machines, washing powder became a necessity. Each time the soap manufacturer's R&D department developed a better performing laundry detergent, the marketing department produced an ad telling the public that the new miracle washing powder washes even whiter than before. The whitest white ever. It's truly amazing. But how much whiter can you get? How often can you state that the new powder washes whiter until consumers stop believing? Or tell them how the new powdered soap will wash whiter, even though they didn't already believe the previous claim, nor did they have the results to back it up? Could they even tell the difference? So the ad men had to come up with an idea to push the new product, which is why they devised washing liquids, pods, sheets, caps, and strips. It is all more or less the same stuff, but by reframing the product, they hope to convince the public to trust the claims of improvement and buy and try the new product. Now compare this to the purchasing department's everlasting struggle to be taken seriously and to get involved in the early stages of the purchasing process. Purchasing initially began as a department where buyers would handle the administrative aspects of the requisition to pay process, including creating, sending, and managing purchase orders. Gradually, negotiations with suppliers about prices and conditions were added to the activities. At some point, reviewing the total costs was added to the job description, and subsequently, additional upstream and downstream activities were also included. The purchasing mindset evolved from the feed the factory service approach to a self-proclaimed strategic role as the organization's financial and ethical conscience, with a mission of realizing cost savings and instilling cost awareness. Since this role and mission were not widely accepted, problems persisted regarding the early involvement of purchasing representatives, and they continued to struggle with being appreciated by their peers, management, and suppliers. No matter how much the purchasing department pushed their newfound position and promised to wash whiter than ever before. So someone thought it might be a good idea to relabel the new product. Where purchasing would still be associated with the old-fashioned PO pushing task, the label procurement would have a more tactical and even strategic focus. However, the purchasing mindset and thus the behavior of both purchasing professionals and stakeholders didn't change. Only the name did. So the term procurement didn't cut it either. Enter the additional terms such as global sourcing, supply management, supply chain management, and the latest purchasing qualification, value cycle management. However, LinkedIn is still full of articles written, liked, and reposted by frustrated purchasing professionals trying to convince readers that supply management is an iceberg and that procurement is so much more than cutting costs and sending POs, blah, blah, blah. To us, purchasing is all about ensuring that your colleagues consistently receive the performance they need from your suppliers to satisfy customers, execute your organization's social role, and either achieve profitability or stay within allocated budgets while achieving the set corporate goals. No matter how you name the game, your company's customers, your suppliers, and colleagues couldn't care less about what title you slap on it or what label you attach to whatever part of the process. Which is why we choose to return to the basics and call this whole thing purchasing. And for all we care, you can call it anything you want. Just understand that you're the only one who cares. Discussing it is a waste of valuable time and energy. Let's focus on the content of your performance delivery as purchasing professionals. Cut the fluff and get back to basics. quickly find out how we can help. Dare to be different.